What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Faded Theory podcast brought to y'all by Higher Passion Entertainment. I'm Woody Woods. You already know that. Here with the crew, the Faded crew. Shit, we got Blunt Master J over here freaking sparking the blunt. And then we
Von,
got the man and the one and only
Von Dutchy. Yes, sir.
Von Dutch. You
Yes,
changed
sir.
it
I
up,
forgot
y'all.
you changed it.
No more backwood Willie.
I changed with the law changed.
We just said Von Dutch.
The
Von Dutch.
Duchess.
And then we got Emily Hayes.
Heavenly
H.
Hayes.
He said him. He
How
said
y'all
him.
doing? How y'all doing on this cold fucking
Cold.
February night?
You can't tell it's not wearing a t-shirt, but cold.
Yeah,
I'm shaking, but the camera's too far to see it.
I'm cozy. I'm cozy.
I hear you.
Dressed for the
Yeah.
occasion.
Yeah, I'm not always wearing double coated on weather like this.
Yeah. I'm a little skinny nigga, so I get cold fast.
Same here, dog.
Hey, chubby man. Chubby guys got cold too.
I'm not a skinny nigga and I get cold fast, so that's how cold it is.
Yeah, that
Oh
makes
man,
sense.
oh man.
But I get cold like skinny bone. Like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
I
Your
thought back,
bones chattering.
back
Niggas having a
then,
seizure.
even without a sweater, no matter how cold it was, or even shorts. But now it's like that I'm older. It's like hell no, I can't be doing that shit anymore. I can't be doing that.
Facts. Evan, you just say this cold. It's cold. Girls don't get cold.
No, hoes don't get cold. That's the rule. Hoes don't get cold.
Hoes don't get cold.
Yeah, that's why we could go out.
They be out in the snow.
It's
Skirt.
The snow.
dental floss almost.
Just looking
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
it's fine. I look cute, and that's
Dental
you can't
floss.
be cute and.
I'm only gonna be cold for. Girls don't wait in line forever. So they're gonna be cold for about 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
All right, so check it out. For tonight's faded topic, it's gonna be about trauma.
Ooh.
Yeah, trauma, right? Like when y'all think of trauma,
Heavy.
like we obviously know what it means. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone, I'm pretty sure some way somehow has dealt with it, and if it's not once, a couple times. But some people suffer it more. You know, everyone gets trauma for some sort of reason. You know what I'm saying? And I think it sucks. Like when y'all think trauma, what comes to your mind first off the bat?
Shit. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but like
You already sound like.
I
one.
know when
Just
people
not
say stuff like
saying.
that.
He's like,
I don't want to be
yeah,
racist, but you know what I
I
mean?
was about to say,
yeah.
it's already a shitty.
It's like brace yourself, it's coming.
Nah, it's just like
like when they say with all due respect.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
Respectfully,
like, no
respectfully.
respect.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is not respectful at all. But nah, shit, I would say like that shit is overhyped to me now, especially in social media. With social media, trauma, like, man, are you really traumatized? Or are you just a bitch at this point? You know what I'm saying? We gotta. You know what I mean? We gotta, cause like, you know, I'll be hearing some of this shit, I be like, what the fuck? Like, I done been through the worst, and I ain't never, you know, thought of doing this or doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I know everybody's situation different, but I just sometimes you just gotta nut up, and a lot of people don't want to nut up. They would just say, oh, and blame this and that for the reasons why they are.
I hear you on that.
I mean, that's a specific type of trauma, though, that you're talking about. Like, trauma that manifests in people being
Who they are.
depressed. For some people.
Depressed, angry.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, because you could still nut up and be angry about the bullshit that you've been through.
Yeah.
True.
But
or,
that's
or like they say, hurt people. So, like, you might not even notice that you're doing that shit
True.
to the next generation, like your kids or even your significant other, whatever. You think you're just being regular. Like, this is me as a person. What do you mean? But what you're doing is trauma from whatever happened to you in the past, and now you're causing the next person trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
true.
sense.
That's what they always say. If you want to help others out, you gotta help
Help
yourself
yourself.
first.
Fact, fact.
True.
But
That
check,
is
just
true.
to touch a little more on that, like I'll start like as a group, and then anyone can start out. Do you feel personally like you're suffering from some sort of trauma?
Oh, definitely.
I think everybody.
I hear
It's
you.
not no one in the world. I mean,
See, there you go,
Some-
just go contradicting everything I just said.
I'm not contradicting it because I really do believe everyone has some form of trauma, but like you said, everybody handles it differently. So
True.
Yeah.
what might have been little to you could have been huge for somebody else,
True.
but it affected them, you know?
I hear you on
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
That is
It
true.
just,
I know.
it just depends on who you are and how
Like-
you handle those situations.
Exactly.
It's just-
Exactly. And like you said, everyone's different. Like for me personally, like I want to say like I haven't been through something major because I've been in
Mhm.
like car accidents
Mhm.
and things like that in certain situations like
Ever been cheated on?
things like yeah I've been cheated on but I never been
That's
I
traumatic.
never
Traumatic.
yeah
Oh
true
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true but like I said, I never took it like personal where like I just stopped
Yeah.
doing everything like I have
Mhm.
Yeah.
like I know someone personally that he was dating someone all throughout middle school and then high school and that's all he had like he was only with her
The same person,
he was with that same person throughout middle school and high school, right?
and they're
And then
like
out
in
of
their
nowhere,
30s
she
now.
just hit him with the, you know what? Like I wanna just like it was mutual, not mutual, but she's the one who did it. Like
She
legit,
engaged it. She
she didn't
engaged
cheat
it.
on him or anything, but she said, you know what? I want something different
Different.
now. I
Yeah.
want to explore, do this, and she started doing it. She just started having her fun, going out, doing this and that, different things. Cause they trust me, they used to do everything, this and that. They were, like trust, they were like a cool relationship. Like okay, they did a lot of things together.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, like I said, she kept moving forward, and then the person that I know, the guy, he just shut down.
Yeah.
He lost his job because he would go to work. He used to work at a factory. He would just go to work and just stay standing there blank, just going through that trauma, thinking about what happened. He lost his job, and then fast forward, like even a couple months later, he's still going through the same thing. Like he couldn't find a, he was just stuck
Yeah.
and things like that. And then he ended up getting admitted somewhere, like to help him out with that. And I'm like, dude, like I'm not one of those persons that could go through that.
Yeah.
Like I can't like if I go through something, I just deal with it and still keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard, but you just keep moving forward.
You
That's
do
what I'm
what you
saying.
gotta
Like me personally, right now, I've been through trauma, like I said, but nothing where it's like affecting me to the max. Where I got into depression or anything.
Yeah.
Like that,
But-
and like it still comes in mind. Everything I fucking been through since I was little, or even to this point right now.
Yeah.
But I still just keep pushing, keep moving forward.
Yeah.
That's me personally.
That I mean, that's just the power of the healing of the trauma in that sense. People, like you said, people go about it in
You gotta be
very different
mentally
ways.
strong, bro. That's
You
the
got to
thing.
be mentally strong, and like you said, it doesn't have to be just like a car accident. It could
Mhm.
be anything that affects your life where you stop moving and you just let life go and not you. That's basically just trauma.
I mean, that's like the really, really extreme form of trauma. Because
Yeah,
like
that
I
nigga
said,
just stopped
trauma
living.
can
That just scared me.
Trauma
Like,
can
goddamn.
I got stingy. Took a
manifest
hit.
in your everyday life just by the way you like
Yeah.
react, just the way someone
Yeah.
says something,
Yeah.
or like I don't know.
But yeah, but
Like
I
the
could
way
say
somebody
I'm
said
not
something to me, like, damn,
trauma,
somebody
sure.
been calling me that my whole life, and like it just like kind of just
Yeah.
it strikes a certain nerve or something.
Yeah.
But that's where like remember what I was talking about? That's where you got nut up. It's borderline to this trauma shit to me. I'm sorry to tell y'all people, don't hate me forever, but y'all can hate me for a little bit. Yeah, there's certain borderline traumas where you just go like, all right, that shit gotta go. I gotta
Yeah.
let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like him, for instance, like Ruben's friend. I'm not gonna lie, that shit would fuck me up. You know what I mean? I wouldn't let it fuck me up to the point where
fucks up your personal life.
like where I would
Yeah.
like if I got a job and shit like that, like I wouldn't let that fuck me up like
Yeah.
that because personally the way I grew up and everything and the people I've been around, my pride would just wouldn't let me. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
anything, I would just try to one up her. You know what I'm saying? I bet you let me go. And I'm about to go like 10 times harder. Now I ain't got to worry about spending so much money on you. I can focus on me. Now my bread is mine. So now I can save, whatever, my bad. Do whatever I want. Get a fucking new car, whatever, a house, whatever I want to do because it's my bread is my time now. That's how I would have went about those situations instead of just like trying to, or just been like, fuck, like trying to think like where I went wrong because even if you found where you went wrong, what happened, and at this point, there's nothing you can do to fix it because she, like you said, like she said, she wanted to move on. So if she ever tells you she wanted to move on, that means she was thinking about this shit for right there. She just didn't wake up and say,
Yeah, she did.
oh,
I don't know.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She was thinking about this shit for a while. So it's like, you got to be like, well, fuck, like, even if you don't want to, you just got to. You got to push forward. You know what I mean?
You don't want to look like one of those crazy ass motherfuckers and shit. Stalking and being crazy and all that. Because they ain't gonna lie, we're gonna have those days where you are gonna feel sad, like,
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, you know
But
what I'm
just
saying? Like,
snap out of it. If it takes you 1, 2, 3 days, okay. But after that, just keep going hard, and then
Yeah.
let it affect you again down the line,
Mhm.
But as long as like, cause I ain't gonna lie, there'll be times where like you just don't feel it, and it's even out of nowhere, You're
Yeah.
just not feeling it. You just overthink it.
it's just what it is. It's
And you're
life,
not
you know? We
feeling
all
it.
get
Yeah,
down and shit like
everybody,
that.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
is just to take a break, let that shit affect you for a while, and then just get back to it.
Yeah, but you as a person also have to put in that work to want to change that, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And like you
exactly.
said,
got it.
and aside from that, like I know we're in this life where, like you said, everything that's trauma or everything that's affecting your life, you have to do it on your own. It's not actually true. Like
No,
you,
yeah,
you
definitely
like
not. Yeah,
if you feel like you can't do it yourself,
I
like it's
mean,
not
it's
wrong
good
to
to have
ask for
friends
help.
for sure.
Sometimes, yeah, like you said, sometimes not even talking to a friend or a parent help. Maybe even it's like a stranger. There's people who have
Yeah.
like opened up to me about their stuff and
Hell yeah.
came
I
back
hear
to
you
me
on
being
that.
like, yo, like, you know, I don't speak to anybody of this. And like, I don't know, I had a situation at work
Do you know? Yeah, that shit is random.
So
where,
let me touch a little bit more on that then. Like for the next question, it's like, so not everyone, but some people. Like, why are some people scared? You know, to really hold the people accountable, who caused them the trauma, but like to blame everyone else.
Josh, well, shit.
well,
You
and,
should start because I mean, you was already on the situation at work, so
oh, okay. Well, okay. So in that situation where, you know, I was working in customer service and this guy came in to try to get a loan. So while I was, you know, setting up his profile and talking, I was just asking him, "Hey, how you doing? You know, just how's life? What, you know, what are you using this for?" And he just kind of being like, "Hey, you know what? I kind of just like lost my job, but I am looking for another one. I just don't know, you know, how my family's gonna take it, knowing that, you know, I no longer have a job and I can't provide." And I'm just like, you know, like I kind of just had a conversation with them about just letting them know, like, don't be scared to talk to your family. The one people that are gonna understand the most is them. As long as you're open and you communicate with them, you know, like things will get better. And you know, like 2 weeks later, came back, and I kind of thought he wasn't gonna come back. And what's it called? Yeah, he came back. He paid it off, and he's like, "Hey, man, like I really want like to thank you because like no one has I wasn't able to speak to anybody, and you know, even you, that you don't know my whole situation, but just the advice that you gave me, like it did change my life. Like midway through coming to this, I was actually, he said, you know, about trying to commit suicide and ending everything. And he's like, dude, like just you telling me to communicate with my family, like as soon as I did it, you know, you could hear the sadness and you could hear the genuine, like, you know, a gratitude for what I said. And you know, like that's one of the examples of like not fearing the trauma, not fearing to be scared of like opening and, you know, your emotions, because people won't understand. You're not alone in anything. So,
I hear you on that.
but you
Yeah,
know, like that's just an example of like how someone was facing their thing instead of falling back and
yeah,
letting
and then
life just get that part
and
of you,
that's
you
true.
know.
I get
oh
that because the
shit,
way
I
I
thought it
see,
was
the
going
way I
somewhere
feel
else with it.
about it is because you can hold the person, like say it depends on the trauma, right? Like
Yeah.
say it was something that you can't tell the person, like hold someone accountable, right? Like this that the question, why don't people hold accountable the person that caused you the trauma accountable? It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough because you could hold them accountable, but for so long, you know what I'm saying? You can't live every day just blaming this person for
Yeah.
what you're dealing with, you
Fact.
know?
Yeah.
Like at some
Because in
point it's like,
reality,
okay, you know, you gotta accept it that you went through it.
yeah.
You don't gotta forget about it, but you don't want to whine about it every day because you still got
I
your
think
You
life
just
to
don't want to
live.
stop
You don't
living.
want them to take that away from your away from. You don't want that person to take that away from you. You know, you
Yeah,
want
of
to keep
course.
living. You know, and it's different for everyone. Like say like someone got paralyzed in an accident, like, oh, I would hate that person forever. You know, and you could. That is different. That's what I'm saying. But
that's what I was gonna
you
say.
still just
You
can't
have
be.
to.
That's a
Can't,
different type. See, okay, see, that's a traumatized, right? Like, remember my bitching? That's not. That's way over here in the traumatizing.
Yeah.
Paralyzed forever, like nigga. I mean, you can't move, like
That's
you
what
know what
I'm
I'm saying.
saying. Now,
That's different.
That's
That's over there
Yeah.
on the
example where
borderline
you
of
could be
like
like,
you
okay,
know the
I could
eight
hate
with
this
the R in
motherfucker
front of it.
forever.
Yeah.
But you know, at some point, because you already held them accountable, especially if you already took them to court, you got your money, this
Yeah.
and that. You just can't. Like it sucks. I would hate that person forever, but you still gotta keep moving
Living.
forward.
You can't.
know what I'm saying?
Literally.
And it just depends on how bad the situation is. Like I said, everyone's different. Some have minors,
Yeah.
some have bigger, some have paralyzed, some are just stuck in bed all the time. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
just like that. Like if I had that situation, oh, I would be bitter for sure for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. Like fuck that.
But that, I think that's just like the main thing about trauma. Like you, no matter what the situation is, you gotta let it go.
At some point,
And
everyone moves on
like no,
differently.
yeah, of course. But
That's
but
what I was gonna say.
you have to let it go. Like
Let it go.
it's whatever makes you think of that exact point of your suffering. Like you know, you just gotta let that shit go. Especially if you want to find happiness, because
Yeah, exactly.
you're not supposed to, like, you know, I don't hate anyone in my life, and
It takes more
No.
energy to be bitter and angry
than being
than
happy.
being happy.
Yep,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Continue, Heavy. I know
Sorry.
you wanted to touch on that.
No, I just have to get back to the thought. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm a little too
I guess I'll get on it. I don't think. Okay, so being traumatized, it's okay to hold someone accountable, especially if they're traumatized, because that means somebody had to do something to traumatize you. So okay, that's fine. But like Ruben said, staying on that can really cause you to stop living and stuff like that. And I think the problem with that is you're still giving them control over your life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
There you
Like
go.
you're still, like, you holding them accountable is still they're still traumatizing you, and they're still traumatized because you're still thinking about it, and they're still thinking about it to the point where they're basically dictating your life without even being there. So at one point, when they say let it go, they're basically saying you got to keep living. Like, you can't just stop. You know what I'm saying?
Or let
You
that be your
you letting it
strength.
go is basically
Sure.
getting your strength back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Showing that you're powerful to overcome this traumatized whatever situation it is. You know what I mean? Like Ruben said, you don't have to forgive this person. You don't got to talk to this person ever again. You don't even got to forget about the situation. But thinking about it, it's just only causing you harm. This person, he might not even, or she might not even care. They might sleep perfectly fine at night. You know what I'm saying? While you're having these nightmares and stuff like that, like they might sleep perfectly fine. So you harping on it isn't going to cause them anything. So the best thing you can do is just move on.
Okay, now I got it.
All right, there you go.
I got back there.
There you go.
All right, go for it, girl. Say what you
So, you guys are talking about a very, very extreme form of trauma, right? But in, say, like a relationship, right? Say you were, not even, I don't want to use the SA word, but say something that you felt like you got in a situation where you said no and they still did it anyway, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Don't.
sexual assault.
Okay.
Trigger word. So if you're someone who got in a situation like that, and
Yeah.
so that's a traumatic situation.
Oh heck
obviously.
yeah, for sure.
And you could have, this could have happened 15, 20 years ago, and you feel like you don't think about that person every day. Obviously, you live your life, you're going through whatever you're doing, and then you're talking to someone new. Something happens where they say a word
That's a trigger.
that reminds you of that situation, and you revert back to
Yeah.
What happened?
what happened and the person that you were. So you might have thought, okay, yeah, I've moved on from that shit, but you have no idea when it's gonna come back up again, to where you're like, oh shit, like that's the thing that happened. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not comfortable here
Yeah.
anymore. I'm sorry, I have to go. And you're like, obviously that you're not ending your life or anything or stopping having fun, but you're just removing yourself from the situation because you're like, I know this made me feel the way I felt then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go. So
Yeah, no,
I
and I
mean-
hear that. That's what I'm saying. So I'm glad you brought that up then, Henry, because I was like, damn, should I be the first one to touch on that? Because like I said, I just want to clear it up too, because I'm not like when I said like you gotta just keep pushing forward, because obviously like say for that trauma, you know, sexual assault is like, damn, people do go through that all around the world, you know, and it's not something to move on from. Like that's gonna
Yeah.
take some time,
Yeah.
and like you said, that's why I say you don't fully forget about it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, you know, like like I said, everyone deals with healing.
A different way.
Some heal faster, some heal, you know, longer. The thing is, like, the moment you're healed, though, obviously it's still gonna be in your head. You might not think about it, but it's still gonna be there no matter what. What I'm saying is that, yeah, eventually you don't want it to keep affecting your whole life. But that's why I'm glad you brought that up, Heaven, because like you said, it's been years ago when you got, like, say someone went through that. 15 years later, a similar situation, some sort of trigger happens. The good thing is you know that how you dealt with it the first time around, you know. So I'm glad you brought that up because you do want to put yourself out of that situation. You don't want to get caught up on that thing, and obviously you might be down for you know how long you go through that again for bringing that for it coming back to that situation. It's just it sucks. Like it really sucks. Like I'm not saying I don't care, y'all. Like if y'all ever want to talk, I'm here. Hit me up, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But it's like man, like it's that's something tough. Like I wouldn't know how to deal with that because I haven't been through that. But it's
Yeah.
like yo, like I believe that you still got to push through it and deal with it in your own terms, as long as you're still, doing daily activities and this and that. Because you never want it to be like, oh, this is the end, and I just got to live in my stuck little box.
Yeah.
Because I think when people just trap themselves in the box, it sucks. It sucks. It really sucks.
Facts. Yep. But remember how Josh said the thing about people talking to him about their traumas?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I don't know if I'm that guy, but I don't know. I get that shit all the time, especially at the park. Like, I take my kids and shit like that. And then, like, maybe my kid might play with their kid and shit like that. So, obviously, you got to have some type of form of conversation. Like, they didn't fucking link you to the person because they playing together. So now, like, usually I'm playing with my kid. Sometimes they playing with their kid. Usually, most of the time they not. They just like, fuck that kid. It's the park. Let them do what they want to do. And I be wanting that, but my kids be like, nah, daddy play. I'm like, all right, whatever, fuck it. So when they link, they like, oh yeah, so, and then they just all start just telling me their whole lives and shit like that. And I just be like, oh, okay. Like, all right. I don't know how to respond to that. That should be killing me. So I'm like, all right, time to go.
So check it.
Sometimes
Sometimes
you just give off that vibe where you make people feel so comfortable that they allow themselves to be vulnerable.
Yeah, that's true. So
like I said, nobody really talks to anybody. Like I said, sometimes
that nigga's high.
talking to a stranger,
yeah,
talking to a stranger helps. It's gonna be a different perspective outside of what you usually get from family, which sometimes is wrong.
Yeah,
So hearing a different perspective from a stranger is like.
So how about this then? What about when someone is dealing with trauma, right? Do you think it's okay for them to treat people bad or hurt them and then use the trauma as an excuse?
To a certain point. Okay, like you do it 1 time, 2, 3 times, and then like, but you can't just do it and that's it. Like, nigga, you got to explain to me what the fuck is going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I've been through this in my past. All right, whatever. And then like, we got to get used to that, and then it got to get to a point where it's like, all right, like, especially like in a relationship wise, it's like basically when it comes to that, you just gotta be like, are you gonna open up to me, or are you not gonna open up to me? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm showing you that I'm not. Yeah, I'm fighting with. I'm like, not fighting with you, but I'm fighting this fight with you. Like, I'm here for you, whatever. Like, I see that this shit really bothers you, and then like I'm here, like whatever. Yeah. And like I just can't have you keep fighting against me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to be treated as such. So it's just like at a certain point, it's just like I don't want to force you to get over it, but like, you know what I mean? Like, know where your allies are, you know?
Yeah, I hear you with that. And I've had personal situations where, I've met people or dated people where like, they're dealing with something, and yeah, like an argument comes up and then it's like, okay, well shit, my bad. I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. I won't press them, but then like I said, if it keeps on happening, it's like, okay, well, help me understand. I wanna help understand, so I know what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say.
But they gotta deal with it too.
But yeah,
because like, then it's just a constant thing of it's just complaining. Like, there's a difference, between just complaining and actually like asking for advice and doing the work so you don't have to complain about it.
I'll go back to what Heaven said too. Like, if you've dealt with trauma back a couple years ago and then it comes up again, like put yourself out of that situation, or like take yourself out of the equation. Like, it's so where you could just not deal with it, or you're not ready to deal with certain people because a certain way they act and you just don't like it. Shit. So I'm just like, damn. Like, to a certain extent, like Will said, it's understandable, but like if it's constant, like Josh said, like you don't, like, it's not healthy. Eventually you're just being a dick now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. That's just what I think. What about you, Josh?
I don't know. I just think people should do better. Just be a regular human being. Don't be an asshole. Don't affect people's lives. Like a big thing right now, and it's something that's been going on, and it's something that also needs to be talked about. Is like bullying for people.
Yeah.
Like that's one sort of trauma that is going on the daily life. Yeah. I know we're just they're teenagers, and we were all teenagers, and we said stupid shit. But you really don't know who's gonna take it to heart,
Yeah, at least for me and shit, I always knew when to stop. Like, I talk my shit like the rest of them, but like, not did shit I wasn't proud of. But I never ever push the kid to like where the point where he's like, I don't even want to go to school today. You
How
know
do you
what I
know?
mean? Like, huh?
How do you know that?
Because I always, if I ever bullied somebody or did something mean to somebody, I always made up to him the next day and stuff like that.
I mean,
And it's like, hey man, like this is not like I'm picking on you thing. You just so happen to just be my target of the day. Like, you know, like, that nigga's next. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're all friends here. Like, you know what I mean? If you get me, I would take it no hard feeling. Like,
but
you
the
know.
reality is that we are not each other. Like we're all our own individual person. So what you may have said, like, oh, I'm just joking, and they could have been like, yeah, for sure. But at home, they're like, fucking.
See,
Nah, but like, nah. See, but like, there's a difference in bullying and then like, because it's not like I don't go every day and just go and hey,
Saying,
you know what I mean?
Like, you could have been joking, right? Okay, so if you're in a relationship with someone and you guys like joke back and forth with each other, and I know this for a fact because me as a person, this is something that I do.
Yeah.
We could be joking back and forth, but then they'll say something, and I'll be like, ha ha ha. And then I'll be like, no, they really fucking feel that.
So
way.
like, fuck you.
All right, so see that.
Fuck
I'm
you.
glad you guys are
Like,
talking about this.
That's how you feel.
So check it out. All right, so I'm glad you guys are talking about this because that's the next question. I was gonna be like, when should you be held accountable? Like, as you're using trauma as an excuse. So like, for example, we were talking about being a bully or something like that. But then they're probably dealing with something every day at their home. That's what bullies.
Yeah.
Typically, they're dealing with problems at
It
home.
always starts at
They take
home.
out bully, they take it out on the smarter kid.
Yeah.
When that's just an example. It goes for anything. Like, when should that person be held accountable? Like.
Well, first of all, I was always nice to the weird kids. I'm just gonna say that right now. They're all grown now. They're not weird anymore, but they were weird in high school. I can say that. All the kids that like they might have did some things, I was nice to them. I never bullied a single one of them. People that might have been going through some shit at home, I was for sure nice to them.
Yeah.
I was never on anybody's hit list for sure. So let me get that out the way. I bullied. That's terrible. I made fun of regular people. You know what I mean? People that can make fun of me. I didn't bully anybody, but I had my fair share of making fun. I mean, shit, people make fun of me. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it just comes out,
Survive or don't. That's up
That's
to you.
just because we don't know better either. We're just all ignorant.
But that's why
teenage years is all ignorancy.
Yeah.
Basically.
But
should be held accountable the moment they're already overdoing it.
yeah. But I would say, but back to answer your
The person
question.
should just be already an accountable.
Shit. You talking about like when somebody keeps using their trauma against you?
Yeah, like when should they be held accountable for using that as an excuse? All the
Like,
first,
all right.
the first moment that it happens.
Nah, goddamn, Josh, have a heart, some sympathy. You don't know what that person's going through. He's like, oh, nope, that's it. You did that shit once.
Because that's where that's where you
Get out.
No, because
shit.
that's where you as a person have to evaluate the trauma at that moment where you like you said it's a trigger of something.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, like at that moment, you as a person should, like I said, reevaluate that moment and learn from that, because that's where trauma is. Trauma is always a reaction to what we have, whether it's sadness, depression,
Okay.
Anger.
Hold on, Josh. So check this out. We're gonna go back to the SA. That's just so funny situation, right?
San Antonio?
So you with a girl, right? Your girlfriend. You guys been together for a while, right? You guys start to get intimate, right? You go to take her pants off, and she flinches, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, and she doesn't want to do it anymore. You gonna be like, oh, what? No, you gotta go. No, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have some sympathy. I get it. Like certain things, like you, like okay, like nah, that wasn't cool. Like, you know what I mean? For you to just lash out at me like that, I don't think I want to deal with some shit like that.
But check it out. That's why consent is a major part in shit like this.
You gotta ask him. That's him. He's talking about. I'm like, damn, have some sympathy. Have a heart. He's like, nah, fuck all that. Yeah,
but this where consent comes in now.
No, because also like
talk about it.
Also, well, I mean, because
the leading to that, you gotta be like, hey, are you comfortable with doing this and that?
No, but no, not necessarily. That's not even a thing. Yeah, because if you're already going in that motion, obviously they're comfortable. But maybe as they're going, they're thinking they're comfortable too. And then the deeper they go, and the more serious you go, and they get a flashback or something of that moment where they was, you know what I'm saying, something bad happened to them. And it just triggers them, and they just You know what I mean?
Well, some
It could
people
be.
understand that they kick them out. That's fucking. You never want to fuck with that fool again, or her again. You know what I'm?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
so it's like that's what I mean by like have a heart or something. Like you gotta give them a couple of times, especially if it's a real like a trauma, like a real trauma. That's why I
Talk
said,
about it.
you know, it got to be something that's trauma. Like
But,
say,
no,
say,
I'm saying that as an individual, you know, that's where you start using your trauma just to say that, you know, like one of the biggest traumas that we've all said, I could probably or is I'm this way because of my dad, or I'm this way because of my mom.
Yeah.
yeah. So check this out. I was gonna say this. So
Like,
say you are hanging out.
So
Say you and Ruben hanging
it
out,
always
right?
starts at home. Like that's
Yeah.
the biggest issue where trauma starts. You
Yeah.
as a parent, you as you know, like, that's where it is. If you have a kid, you're raising them and you're trying to make him be the best person he can be. You know, don't allow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't
So you
allow
can't be an asshole
your
and
traumas
then
to.
drop them and be like, oh, hold you, be accountable for your trauma. Like, so say you and Ruben hanging out, right? And say you and Ruben hanging out, right? You guys know each other for a while. Y'all good friends, obviously. And you say to him like, ah ha ha, shut up, Ruben, you fucking bitch. And it triggers him. And he's like, fuck you, Josh, I'll fuck you. Da, da, da. Like he trips on you big time, like da 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 da. And you like, and it catches you off guard, like what the fuck? Like you don't know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you didn't know that Ruben grew up where like his mom or his dad kept calling him a bitch all his life and a fucking pussy and shit like that, to where he grew up and that shit like it really got to him and something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you like, you know what I mean? You gotta actually know a person and like you can't just be like, oh,
Yeah,
da 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 da, like. Nah, that like, oh fuck, like, all right, I'm never hanging out with that guy again. Like, you know what I mean? You know, so
or in that sense, you know, like you as a friend there, like, oh, safe.
good catch. Yeah. Nails.
Yeah, I mean that's just you as a person and how you take that situation. Because if that were per example, and I say that I said something that triggered him, I understand that I said something that triggered him. You know, so now you understand that you shouldn't say something like that to him.
Yeah.
If you want to be a friend, you'll be like, hey, you know, like you want to talk about this shit, like, you know, then you'll hear like you'll get his vulnerable side. Well, if he is comfortable with you, he'll tell you, be like, you know, like this shit happened. Yeah. Then that's when you learn that person and you understand him.
That's what we trying to get
and then that's
nah, they can't lash out at me. That's not okay.
But that's how you okay.
But okay, so I'm gonna give you a good example.
Yeah, go for
of like being a parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you learn how to be a parent from your parents. Whether you thought to yourself, "Oh, I'm never gonna do that because my mom and dad did that," or "I'm gonna do this because my mom and dad did it."
Yeah.
You have all of these things that you're not gonna do or you are gonna do, and then when you get to being a parent and your kid does something that
you may not want to
you off, and you're like,
well, I see why.
In a snap reaction, you react the way your parents would react. I mean, unless you have done some major work to mentally get through that, then no, you're gonna react that way. Yeah. And you might catch yourself and be like, oh, okay, that's not an appropriate reaction. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you like.
But your instant reaction was due to that trauma from however your parents were.
Yeah. It happened. And the one thing you didn't want to happen.
Or even when someone passes away, you know, you just go
and
through
you can say like, okay, I want to fix that. I don't want to do that again. And for the next few times that your kid does something that pisses you off, you're able to react calmly and rationally and like talk them through it or whatever. But then 5 times down the line, you react that way again, and you're like,
don't forget.
That's way too much. Yeah, so see, that's the beauty. Because it was gonna be my last question. I'm glad you brought that up because it was gonna be the last question. Like I was gonna say, have you ever stuck by someone, or have you ever had someone stuck by you, whether they knew about your trauma or you knew about them? So it's good because like when that's what I'm saying. I'm always here for anybody, no matter what. Here for y'all. Anyone just come to me. It doesn't have to. You don't have to go full on about what happened. Even if you just want to touch a little bit, you know, like let me know. That way I just understand it a little bit because that way you know what they're dealing with. And like I said, you know what to do, what not to say, and shit like that. Yeah. So like
I'm saying,
some people, like you said, that's a good example because some people you try to understand them, but then still keep being, you know, a certain way, and you're like, well, damn, I'm here helping you out, but like, yo, like I can't help you out anymore if you're just gonna keep, you know, being in a repetitive state. Like, damn.
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah, I'm notorious for sticking by people that do some stupid bullshit. Stupid bullshit and blame it on their trauma, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I mean,
It isn't me.
it's no, because you think
It's my past. I don't know what I'm doing. Every time I think, I just think of my past, and I just react.
But you have to. It depends on what their situation was, like, because if you do know it, then you have to consider, like, have I been through that? No, so I have no idea what actually you have to work through.
Yeah.
To be able to move past that and not be that.
But about 4 T's. You can't let somebody just take advantage of you.
Nah, never that. Yeah, you never want to let anyone take advantage of you.
If they're gonna just keep using that, eventually they're just gonna use that to their advantage. So,
but y'all can stay strong out there. Like I said, if y'all ever want to talk, hit up the comments.
Yeah, Ruben's here for you.
Like, I'm here for y'all, yo. And I haven't said I may not know the full extent of what's going on, but if you just want someone to hear, hit me up, yo. Hit me up.
Yeah.
His number is
Me.
Not that much. Not that much.
I might message back depending on how bad it is.
But nah, I'm for real.
I can't let nobody go off the edge. I'll talk you down. But like, other than that, I'm kind of busy. I'm trying to get my life back together. So you know what I'm saying.
I'm here for you, brother. If you
So-
want to talk, just hit me up.
No, not me. I'm talking about other people. Y'all can hit up Heaven and Josh too. Ruben already said he here for you. So you got 3 out of the 4 for sure. Now if you hitting me, you must be on dire need. Like, you know what I'm saying? You must be like, you know what I'm saying?
an 8 at a time.
Maybe
Like,
you're-
damn, they didn't answer? You hit all 3?
No,
They didn't
maybe you're just
respond?
so far removed that they're like, he's the only person I feel
That can
comfortable
understand
telling
him. Okay.
because everyone else is too close to me, and I don't want to know how they would judge me.
That's what I said.
All right.
Sometimes the best person to talk to is
All right, get that operation then. I'm just kidding. That's somebody tell me I'm like, I can't, because if anybody get mad at you, they better not say Will said anyway. Like, I didn't say it. I
Any
can't.
final thoughts, y'all?
Starts with you. Do the work.
Hey, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
Thinking
could.
of y'all.
You could
Stay
overcome.
strong. Any like, comment, subscribe. Let us know, people. Let us know.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next one.
Here's the pride. Here's the
Yeah.
honor. Can't come in her. Come on her.